Hello, welcome to another After Effects tutorial. As you know, Valentine Day is at the corner, so that's what I decided and show you how to create this animation. You can have an image, or you can have, only, let me just see another project. Yes, this is what I have. You can have this just to make a GIF animation for your girlfriend or your wife or friends, anything can be, let me just pull this. Actually, let me just click quit this. And let me just pull my After Effects. I already have this 2018 version. Let me just, I got this 1080p and 30 frames per second and, 10 seconds long. Let me just click and rename main. And once we have this, we need to go and create another composition command N and Mac, Control N and PC. And let me just type hertz, same settings, And then what we're going to do is right click, new, create a shape layer. And also we need to add a, path in here. Make sure the path is selected. And this is a little tedious to create a, heart shape and After Effects. So that's what I decided to, for a long time I have my website, this package, custom shapes for Photoshop you can download. And also there's a video how to install. Once you install and draw, so you can just hit the A, that's the shortcut, just to select the path. Command C to copy. Going back, make sure the path is selected, Command B to paste, and there you have the path. And then we need to add a fill in this case, and then what we're going to do is duplicate, this duplicate. And we might need to change, let me just shut this off, this on the top and the bottom. We need to change a little bit dark, but if you want, you can change any color you like. So for my case, I'm going to have this color. So let me go ahead and change, Command small V to paste, and there you have. Maybe let me just put this and make sure hit the S on the keyboard. Let me just scale down a little bit, and then we need to pull the image in between those. So let me just, select the image. You can have a video if you want. So let me just go ahead and make sure that if you don't see this mask option, so you can just click this toggle switch mode. So let me just go ahead and say alpha matte, and you will have this. You can just move the image around, so let me just align a little bit there. Then what we need to do is create the text around the shape. So let me go ahead and click, right click text, and you can type whatever you want. In my case, I'm gonna type love, and also the link will be in the description for the font if you want the same. So let me make sure the text layer selected and pick the pen tool. Let me just go ahead 100% over here. And make sure, we're going to click, make sure selected. We're going to just click in here just to have around the shape, So hold it on option just to have option to move this, nicely, just to customize, the path. There you go. So then we can go ahead and drop this down and go text maybe and the path options. So let me just have mask, and there you have. And also you can just move this a little bit to the right in case you want. There's another options you can play with. So let me go ahead and make sure fit and count, and there we have. So once we have this, I'm gonna create only this, but you will be able to create a tone of this after this. So let me just select all of them, right click and pre-compose. Make sure move all the attributes into the new composition. I'm gonna call love in this case. Make sure, and then you can, if you want to create all of them, you can just, duplicate this command D, the times you want, and then you can customize, you can change the image or the text, whatever. But in this case, I'm gonna just create this for now. As I said, you will be able to create more. So let me create a composition command and to create. In this case, we need to go 1920 by 5 or 5 pixels. I said 5 in Spanish. Anyway, so let me go ahead and create, draw, shape. So let me just draw maybe this. And also we need to go maybe a little bit darker, not too red or light, and then we're gonna do is duplicate this and make sure this in the bottom, we need to change to white in this case. So let me just have white. And make sure the top is selected, and we're gonna go and look for Venetian blind. So let me just say, yeah, you see in the transition, double click, and maybe we need to go transition completion. We need to go 12 maybe, and then the direction maybe 25, there you go. So you can play around actually if you want, but in this case, I think it's fine for me. So let me just close this. Once we have this, we need to go and make sure to play first with this shape, heart shape. So let me just, maybe move this a little bit up, and then we need to hit the A key on the keyboard, hold it on Shift, and then click R or hit R, and then we need to hold it down Option again, so we need to click and click. Then we need to write a code, and in this case I already write this code. I am not really professional with the scripts for After Effects, but you can check this website. There's a lot of options, to learn scripts for After Effects, and it really helped me a lot, so I suggest to check this. The link will be in the description. And what we're gonna do is, as I say, I already copied this, so let me just copy this code. So let me Command C and then go back, Command and small V to paste. And let me just pull this down a little bit and see. Actually, it's giving me an error, so let me see why it's giving an error. So let me just go ahead and here. Actually, this we got this first line, it's frequency. This is how many times you want it to go back and forth per second, or jump up and down in this case. And this is how far you want it to jump. Lower number will be shorter, and the higher number will be a large jump, And down here, this line is the decay. It's how quickly you want it to move. If you have a higher number, it will be fast. If a lower number will be, slower. And also down here, this is what it's giving me the error, because it's telling me I must have, in this layer, I must have the marker. That's the key to have this, control or where to start the animation. So let me just make sure selected and hit the period key on your keyboard. And also we need to cut. Actually, you know what? Let me just Command Z. And I think I need to go 3 seconds. Let me just go ahead 3 seconds. And let me just click again the period key. And let me just hold an Option, left bracket, just to cut this. And you see we don't have the arrow anymore, but and see we already have the animation. But I think the amplitude is too higher, so let me just go ahead maybe 1200. Okay, beautiful. And you can play around the frequency and also the decay. And down here, this line basically is, giving me it's the control about those 3 lines that we have up here, basically. And then what we're gonna do is make sure to go over here, and then we need to go and maybe, actually before doing this, I need to add another, adjustment layer in this case. So I'm gonna just go ahead and call controller. And also we need to add the slide control in this. So let me just look for a slide control. Double click, and there you have. So what we're going to do is rename this maybe love, the same that we have in this, layer. So, and then I think we need to lock this for now. So make sure the panel, slider panel is locked. And let me go and make sure select this. So actually, let me just copy. I have on my other screen. So let me just go ahead and paste, and paste, and I think it's giving me another error. So let me just see why it's giving me error. So let me just pull this up. So let me see actually why it's giving me error. Oh, okay. Oh, this is why it's giving me error, because this name is different. So we need to, when you copy or download my file, so you have to change this. So let me just select this before, this inside. So let me just go ahead and pick whip this to the love slider, and there you have. So I think we fixed the error. So you see, so this is what we really have actually, but I don't see kind of like swinging around or bending, kind of like bending. So let me see what we can do in here and to have this. So let me go ahead, 3 seconds, remember 3 frames, not seconds. I'm sorry, I did say seconds. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's 3 frames. So let me go 3 frames and add a keyframe. And then now we need to go 3 seconds and 3 frames. So let me go ahead and you see, so let me just go in here and say 3 seconds, 0.3 frames. So let me just go ahead and see. So you will have this nice animation, you see. But I think it's too much crazy. So we can play around. As I say, the amplitude is the way we can actually slow down this. So let me just go ahead and maybe 30. So let me just see. You can play around. You see, it's nice. I like that. And then what we're gonna do is play with the rope. So let me just go ahead in my project panel. So make sure to have this all the way where the animation ends. So let me just see and make sure just pull the rope, I guess. So let me just yeah, this is the rope, but I didn't rename, so let me just rename rope. And let me just pull into my timeline. Actually, none here, so we need to go make sure it's in the, let me close this, make sure it's in here where it's hard. Let me just pull this down. Actually, let me just pull this on the bottom and in between the love and the controller, and then hit R just to rotate this 90 degree, and there we have. So let me just go ahead and pull this down a little bit, and let me make sure, let me lock those layers, make sure to pull this all the way up. Just make sure to have on the top of the heart. So let me just make sure so you can also play with the arrow and here, and then we need to go and see actually. All right, and then what we're gonna do is make sure selected. Let me go fit it comp and also add a slider, and then also we need to add a bezier wrap. So let me just go. You see bezier wrap. So let me just double click and make sure the slide control is down here on the bottom. And then what we're gonna do is, make sure to click holding down option just to click where it says top left tangent, and let me just holding down option as I said, and the right as well, top right, and also the bottom. So let me just go ahead and the bottom right, bottom left, and there we have this. So let me just go ahead up here, and also we need to go quality 10% basic. Okay, so let me go ahead and hold it down option again. So let me just add the script down here, but we need to change the script. So let me go ahead and copy that. I wrote this as well. So let me just Command C to copy, and let me just paste in here. And so basically it's telling me, we're gonna just control by the slider those values, X and Y. So X basically we got 0, and the effect is gonna apply into the Y position. Okay, so that's why we created this slider control. This is slider over here for this rope. So let me just copy. So you can, after this, you can do the same or just copy on the other layers or whatever you have. And let me just copy all of them. And here also we can just copy. Then once we have this, we need to see basically nothing changed. So what we're gonna do is, let me see and go ahead and open this a little bit. And then what we're gonna do is, make sure to change, copy also another script to the slider control. So let me just copy, already have over here, and let me just copy, control small v to paste, and see what happens. Okay, it's giving me an error, so I think something's wrong in here. No, it's nothing wrong. Let me just see. Okay, let me just open this. Okay, so basically it's the same thing. You got frequency, amplitude, and decay. So I already explained is how many times you want to back and forth or jump down and up. This line, this is the how far you want it to go, and this is how fast. And also here's the problem. We have to add a markers telling me in here. So make sure remember on the first layer or the love layer we add the marker on the 3 seconds. So let me go ahead at 3 seconds and hit the period key. And also we need to make sure the layer select the rope in this case. So then hit the period key, and let me just hold that option left bracket just to cut this, and you will see this. And so what we're gonna do is make sure to go and basically, so let me go ahead and I think something's wrong in here. It's not jumping to. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. And what we're gonna do is, I think, let me just go ahead and make sure to see where the animation ends of the heart. So just make sure that's the very important this part. Make sure to have this over here. And then what we're gonna do is make sure right there. Let me see, actually, you know what? Let me just close this basically. And we're gonna pick this, pick whip this with the lobe. So let me just go ahead and pick whip. So let me just see. And yeah, play and see. Basically, it's the rope is following the heart in this case. Nice. So let me just see something. I don't like this. So let me just go ahead and see what happens in here. Actually, you know what? Let me just open this slider. Oh, I think we should increase the amplitude because, you know, it's not bending. As you see, it's kind of like a stray, the rope. So we need kind of like this, a little bending also. So let me just go ahead and increase this to maybe 300 just to see. And you will kind of like see. Yeah, there is a nice, I like that. But let me just increase this to 500 maybe. It's actually, you know, 500 I said. Beautiful. I really like it more realistic as you see the rope is bending. So let me just go ahead and create the background and also put it all together in my main. But you already know how to create, so you will be able to create more than one shape in here. So you can have a heart, circle, rectangle, whatever. So let me just go back to my main and command Y to create a solid layer. So make sure fitting or make camp size. And the color doesn't matter. So let me just type background or BG. And also we need to add a layer just to have, you know, gradient color. So it's nice to control in here. That's what I love to use this option. And for the background, I already have the dark color. It's this value. So you can just, let's go edit and make sure the dark. So you can have the same color if you want. Otherwise, you can have any color you want. So let me just copy the lighter color. So go edit, command small b to paste, and there you have. And so you can just play, you know, to have maybe radial, and maybe we can offset this, you know, where is offset. So I think I don't have offset. Oh, let me just see. Angle maybe. Oh yes, you can play around. And then what we're gonna do is, you know, create another solid layer, and this maybe white just to have the particles. So let me just maybe PS particles, and let me go ahead and look for effect. You know, I think is in simulation CC particle world, and let me just, you know, click this, check off all the position, radius, motion path, and the horizon and axis box. And then we need to play around. So make sure to go ahead and maybe make sure first in particles we need to have a phase sphere. So let me just put this right there. And also we need to go physics maybe, and we need to say velocity 0, and the gravity we need to have 0 as well. And then we need to go and producer. So let me go and play with producers, and radius X we can just extend, you know. So actually right there, and the Y also we can go ahead, and the Z just to have a deep fill, you know, X. And then we need to go and make sure go particle, we need to change the color, but you can have any color you like. So let me go ahead and say white, and basically that's it. So I think also we need to go maybe 30% the opacity, and just to have a nice. And then what we need to do is maybe go into my project and just pull the heart, you know, so they can just have this as you see. So you can create one, I mean more than one, as I said, because I'm not creating all of them because it's taking too long. So but the idea is this, you know. And then what we're gonna do is create another solid. So let me just go ahead and make sure this time is black, and let me just say lens flare, so just lens, you know. And let me just look for the lens. So you know, just type lens flare, you will have and generate. And then let me just put this in the center maybe right there, and let me just duplicate this, holding down command D 2 more times in case, you know. Let me just move this to the left, and this one maybe move to the right there. So then what we're gonna do is make sure it's under the heart, and let me just go blending mode, screen, and see. Nice. And then what we're gonna do is basically add more particles as you saw in the previous. So let me go ahead and duplicate this, you know. So let me just command D to duplicate, And let me just go ahead and play a little bit with first with the physicals. We need to have 0.01, the velocity, not too crazy. And also the gravity, I don't need to change the gravity. And also we need to go, instead of having explosive, we need to have a trolley. And then we need to go ahead and see what happens. Actually, yep, there is. And then we need to go and particles maybe. And actually, you know what, go 75% opacity. And then we need to go and increase the bit rate to 3 maybe. And also the longevity second, we need to go 2 maybe. Yes, I like that. And yeah, basically that's what we're looking for. And also the way to have that I have in the preview is I went to the producer. Yes, producer. And let me just pull the white a little bit down right there. And also the X a little bit to the center right there. And let me just, the position Y, just move a little bit down to the bottom right there. And there you have. So this is what we have. So you can increase the bit rate and also the, what else? I think, yeah, that's all. And also let me just duplicate one more time. And let's put this on the top of the heart. So what I did in here is basically going to right here when the heart start moving. So let me just move right there, pull this layer, and let me go ahead and play with, you know, basically in producer. We're gonna go and, you know what, let me just to see where is the producer. I mean the position we need to have in the same. And just the radius we need to play around. So let me just go ahead Y radius. So let me see, I think it's 0. Add a keyframe and go maybe right there and go to, actually, you know what? Yes, maybe right there. Right there. Cool. So when, actually, you know what? Let me see. We play, it will kind of like flies from the bottom to the top. So you see, and this is what we have. So let me just play and see. Okay, so that's the way I create this. As you see, let me just play and see. You know, so you can add more. You know, if you just to have a nice more particles in here, or you can also add another, you know, lens. So let me just add another lens. So let me just in this case in the top, the, you know, so let me just go ahead and here, or maybe a little right there, and let me just go ahead and say screen, and there you have. It's kind of like more nicely. And also if you want a little movement from this lens flare, so you can just go flare center, hold it on option, click and just type wiggle, open parentheses, let me just go 3,3 maybe, and close parentheses. And let me just see, actually, you know, you will see a little bit more moving the lens flare, as you see. If you want to really go crazy, so you can just increase the number. So that's the way, you know, just to have a nice animation. You see it moving this. And that's the way you create this. And also, so you can just go ahead and hard. So let me just change this color to red, maybe instead of having white. So make sure, you know, just have red. And this not too bright. And if we go back here, so you will see this. So let me just put this half. So my computer is not killing me. Actually, I'm using my Hackintosh. I'm really proud of my 1600. You know, it's working perfect, I should say. And this is what we have. So you can create anything you like, you know, nicely. And so I mean it's time consuming, but you can do a lot with this. You know, hope you guys like it. As I said, I'll be posting another tutorial on Premiere the next week on Friday, maybe on Monday. So make sure to check my website, you know, just to pull this or download my free project, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is in English, and this is my Spanish YouTube channel. And like us on Facebook, and, you know, why not Twitter? Make sure just check on Patreon if you really want to support us. So you will be able to download the file as well. So make sure to check the links down below in the description. And see you next time.